Blessings and peace to you. This is SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and my name is SB Favor. How are you doing today? It is Wednesday, April 12th, 2023. Another wonderful day and another day to be thankful. As I always say, if you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen. I hope everyone is having a good Wednesday. And if you are out there traveling about, make sure that you are keeping yourself and keeping your family members safe. Make sure you pray. Make sure you stay focused. And most importantly, use that hand sanitizer if you need to. And in some places, make sure you wear your mask. I know a lot of people aren't wearing their mask anymore, but look, if you feel like you need to in certain environments, why not? Wear your mask if you need to, if you feel like you should. Well, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $ SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. Once again, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $ SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. Thank you so much for your support and your donations. Well, I have an inspirational quote for you today. And my inspirational quote is, don't give your attention to the things that do not build you up. Give your attention to all the things that make you better. Give your attention to the things that build you up. Give your attention to the things that help you to be a better you. Why should you give your attention to things that make you feel bad? Why should you expose yourself to things that don't help you? That inspirational quote came from something that I was thinking about recently, because it is so important that we stay in a place of hope. There's a lot going on today all over the world, and it is highly important that we as individuals do our part to stay in a place of hope. And when I talk about hope, I'm talking about your value system, your belief in God, the things that help you to focus on what helps you to be centered spiritually, what helps you to be balanced spiritually, what helps you to be edified spiritually. That's what we have to focus on. Staying in a place of hope has everything to do with what are you thinking about? What are you meditating on daily? What are you exposing yourself to constantly? Staying in the hope has everything to do with a focus on God, a focus on what God can do, a focus on God being the solution to all problems. Staying in the hope has everything to do with understanding that all things are subject to change. Prayer is a very, very vital and powerful tool. And staying in hope gives you the motivation, the inspiration, and the hope that things will change, because all things are subject to change and all things are subject to God. God is absolutely sovereign. And because he's sovereign, he can change anything. So it's important that we stay in a place of hope, exposing ourselves to things that edify us, things that help us, things that motivate us, things that inspire us to be a better person. And also staying in a place of hope is also you positioning yourself to help somebody else, because there are a lot of people out there that need hope. There's somebody somewhere right now that needs an inspirational word or encouraging word, or just something to esteem them, something to edify them. There's a lot of people that are going through different types of problems and different types of circumstances. And some people unfortunately, they don't have hope. Some people think that circumstances and situations will always be the same or never change. And that's not necessarily true. That is not necessarily true at all. Because, as I stated, all things are subject to change. We have to believe that, because prayer is a vital tool. And when I talk about prayer in that way, I'm not speaking in a religious way, because sometimes when you mention the word prayer, it can sound kind of cliche, because think about it. Our politicians, they use it so much, thoughts and prayers, but nothing is done. Well, guess what? When you talk about prayer and you take action with the prayer, it works. Because faith without works is dead. I'm going to say that again. Faith without works is dead. So when I talk about prayer, I'm talking about an activation of your faith according to what you believe. Hope is very important at this time in the earth. As I stated earlier, there is a lot going on. And no, we don't have to focus on all that is going on, but we do have to deal with reality. And we can deal with reality with courage. We can deal with reality knowing that God can change all things. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine earlier, and she said, life is life, and something is coming. And when she said that, she wasn't speaking in a negative context. She was speaking in terms of the weeks and months ahead. We don't know what's going to happen, but we know that when life happens, life happens. She was explaining to me that her father is not feeling well. He's up in age, and she has come to terms with the fact that her father is aging. And when my friend said what she said, she was speaking in a place of hope. She was stating that, she accepts what life is bringing at this moment. And I said to her, I like her approach to what is happening, because she's approaching this situation with confidence, courage, and strength. She's not walking around sad and worried. I said to her also, in the midst of what your father is going through, he has hope. He believes in God. And because he believes in God, no matter what happens, he's going to be all right. So my friend said, yes, that's true. That's very true. So we have to stay in a place of hope, because when we expose ourselves to the things that build us up versus the things that don't build us up, we help ourselves to be better people. Every single day, I always say, we have an opportunity to do something new and something better than we did yesterday. I did an episode recently about staying in the new. And one of the things I mentioned was every day in your life, it should represent something new, because you are in a new day. So approach each day with hope. Approach each day with newness of mind, newness of spirit, newness of heart, because we cannot get back what happened yesterday and last week and last month and last year. That time is over with. The clock keeps on ticking and going forward without our permission. It just keeps moving. So stay in a place of hope according to how you think, the things you say, the things you expose yourself to. Stay in a place of hope. And if you are in a company of someone that's speaking doom and gloom, separate yourself. The reason why I say that is because you don't want to expose yourself to something that is not edifying. You don't want to expose yourself to something that you don't need. It does not have any benefits to have a doom and gloom conversation, because believe me, if you sit and have a doom and gloom conversation, you're going to walk away feeling just that, gloomy. You want to stay in a place of hope, to be inspired, to be lifted up, to be elevated. Staying in a place of hope gives you the strength, the courage, and the goodness that God has made available for us to function in. And staying in a place of hope has everything to do with, like I said, what you expose yourself to and what you think about. Every day can't be perfect, but you can approach each and every day in every situation and circumstance with a projection that everything is going to be worked out. You can approach every single day with hope that everything is going to be all right. Even if it doesn't look like it's going to be all right, tell yourself, write it down, put it on an index card in front of you. Remind yourself all the time that everything is going to be all right. Everything is all right. When you tell yourself that, when you're going through something, it changes the energy and the spirit of the environment that you're in. It will change it. But don't sit in a place of just thinking that everything's wrong and it's not going to work out. Don't think like that. Stay in a place of absolute hope. When my mother was ill in 2020, during the pandemic, I couldn't go see her. I couldn't spend time with my family. I lived 8 hours away from my family. I lived 8 hours away from my mother. And I couldn't do anything because it was out of my control. It was a pandemic going on. My mother was ill. My mother was being taken care of, but I couldn't participate in her care because I lived 8 hours away. And at that time, everything was locked down. Well, in order for me to focus during that time, I had to stay in a place of hope. I had to keep my mind on the things that helped me to function. So during 2020, I couldn't see my mom physically. Of course, I could see her on video and I could talk to her, but I couldn't physically see her. So in 2021, I was able to see her. And during that time, I had to keep telling myself, stay in the place of hope. Stay in the place of what helps me to be better. So when I was able to see my mom for the last time in 2021, I kept telling myself to just press forward, stay focused. And, that's what I did every single day. Well, in September of 2021, my mom passed away. And she passed away 1 week before my daughter was scheduled to be married. And during that time, of course, when something like that happens, the first thing you think about is, well, I can't reschedule the wedding. I can't change my plans. What can I do? That was the first thing that I thought about. What can I do? I got to participate in the wedding. Well, in the midst of grieving my mother passing, in the midst of knowing I had to travel to another state to participate in the wedding, I had to stay in the place of hope. Now, I must say, during that time, I was in a lot of pain. A lot of pain. I was in so much pain because my mother passed. I couldn't go see her. I couldn't spend the time that I wanted to spend with her before she passed. It was so many different things going on concerning the pandemic and my mother passing during the pandemic, and then my daughter getting married. There was so much going on concerning that whole time. But to get to the point of it all is this. I had to stay in a place of hope. I had to walk my daughter down the aisle one week to the altar. And then the next week I had to walk to the altar to say goodbye to my mom for now. And during that whole time, I was in absolute pain with a smile on my face. And many people ask me, how did you do it? How did you function at such a level with all of that going on around you? And I say to you now, listeners, I stayed in a place of absolute hope. I kept my mind focused on God. I kept my mind focused on His strength. I kept my mind focused on the power of prayer. I kept my mind focused on hope. Understanding, as my friend said, life is life. Because you don't know what's coming. You just know that something is coming. And you don't have to think negative when you think, something is coming. It's when my friend was saying something is coming, she was speaking in the context of life is happening. Whether it be a month, a year, or 3 years, or 4 years, life is happening. And in the midst of life happening, something is coming. But in the midst of life happening to us all, it is important that we stay in a place of hope. It is so important not to be distracted by the vanity of all these things in the world. When you stay in a place of hope, that is a form of self-love. To me, that's what I call it. Because you care for yourself. You care for your spirit. You care for your mind when you stay in a place of hope. And as I stated, you stay in a place of hope based upon what you expose yourself to, what you meditate on daily, what you think about. You don't want to give attention to the things that don't build you up or make you better. But stay in a place of hope. You can do it because all of us have access to strength. All of us. Don't ever think that you are not strong. Don't ever think that you are alone. You are a powerful person when you believe that you are a powerful person. Because as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. When my father passed away, he wanted to be cremated. And during that time in 2011, my brother said to me, well, we have to have him cremated. Of course, we had a service for him. But after we had the service, his remains had to be taken to a crematory, right? So I had to do it because nobody else wanted to do it. And when I did it with absolute strength, because that was something that I've never experienced or seen before. So my brother says to me, "How did you do that?" I did it with absolute strength. I did it with the strength of God, the peace of God. Yes, after it was all over, after the experience of taking my father to a crematory to be cremated and standing there and seeing the whole procedure, after experiencing that, of course, I must say I realized my own strength. But like I said, I'm sharing all this to tell you, stay in a place of hope. And don't think that you are alone. Don't think that you are without the strength that you need to get through what you need to get through. But stay in a place of hope. And don't give attention to the things that don't build you up or make you better. Understand what you need every single day to be the best person you can be. But stay constantly in a place of hope. And that has everything to do with what you think. Your faith, it matters. Your belief system, it matters. This world is filled with so much that is crazy. But if we as individuals do what we have to do every single day, staying in the place of hope, we're going to be all right. And when you take the time to build someone else up based upon the hope that you have in your life, you become an asset. So stay in the place of hope. Well, I hope I gave you something to think about. This inspirational quote and topic was inspired by my conversation I had with a friend of mine. And I just woke up this morning thinking about hope. How important it is to stay in a place of hope. I woke up this morning just thinking about how just being able to talk to God is such a peaceful place to me. I'm not a religious, strict person. That's not me. I'm a spiritual person. I don't judge people. I don't peep into other people's lives to see what they're doing. No, I concentrate on my own life to do what I need to do for me. But in the process of me doing what I need to do for me, I pray a lot. A lot of people are sometimes just very religious and they do nothing, but they just quote scriptures and they're very religious. That's not me. But I'm saying all this to say that having that relationship with God and praying and just talking to Him about the simplicity of life is peaceful. It's good. You know? And I do that constantly. And today I woke up, I started my day, and I just kept thinking about how important it is to stay in a place of hope. And I kept telling myself, I can't expose myself to the things that I don't need, the things that are not edifying. If I expose myself to something that's going to bring my spirit down, what benefit is that? What benefit is it when we, or if we expose ourselves to something that is not good? It is so important every single day, throughout your day, expose yourself to everything that will build your spirit up, everything that will build your mind up. You know, If you're watching a movie and it's too much sadness and you just can't deal with the sadness on that particular day, then don't watch it. If you're listening to something on the news and you feel like your spirit can't take it, don't listen to it. Turn it off. There are times when I can be more sensitive one day and less sensitive the next day. But when I'm in that place of sensitivity, my spirit, there's certain things I won't watch and certain things I won't listen to. So I'm saying to you, don't give attention to the things that don't build you up or make you better. Know what you need for you. And most importantly, stay in the place of hope. Stay in the place of hope according to how you think and what you expose yourself to. And whether you're walking or running, exercising of any kind, or just moving about that around your house, meditate on something good. Don't think about, oh, well, I got to do this next week and I don't know how it's going to work out, and the problems of what happened at the last meeting and the problems with the family. No, don't focus on that stuff. Focus on the things that will build you up. Focus on the things that give you joy. Focus on your goals and the things that you foresee happening. Focus on those things. And just, like I said, don't give attention to the things that don't build you up or make you better. If you stay focused every single day and journal and write things down according to the things you need to do for you, watch how results start popping up all over the place. Positive results. When you focus on what you need to do for you and you make an agenda or goals according to what you want to do or accomplish, watch how results start coming your way as you focus on what is good and the goals you want to accomplish. It is so important that we stay in a place of hope. I have to keep saying that, because when you expose yourself to what is edifying and uplifting, it helps you and not hurt you. So thank you so much once again for taking the time to tune in to SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. I appreciate you, listeners. If you would like to give to the podcast, please give at Cash App $ SB Favor or Venmo at SB Favor. I appreciate your support. I thank you for listening. Please share this podcast with others. I must keep going, and you are the reason why I keep going. So give to the podcast. I thank you so much for your support and your donations. And if you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I also have a TikTok handle with inspirational and motivational content there. Please subscribe to me wherever you listen to podcasts. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click like, leave me some feedback, and share the podcast with others. Once again, subscribe to my YouTube channel, because on my YouTube channel, it will be content that's on there that may not be on the other networks, because I'm on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Audible. And if you subscribe to me on YouTube, you may see something different. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. That is very important, because I'm going to be doing live events soon, and you need to be over there. And like I said, click like, share, subscribe, and leave me some feedback. Don't leave me nothing negative, because I'm going to just delete it. Because I know everybody has an opinion, and some people just, unfortunately like to say things they shouldn't say. So I'll just delete it. So thank you so much for tuning in. And I will be talking to you soon. Thank you for listening. Share the podcast with others. And you have a good day.